In the first fight of the night, we have Charles Johnson taking on Ramazan Temirov. This is a badass fight to kick off the card because Charles Johnson is willing to take on anybody. He knocked out Joshua Van not too long ago, and he is a very good fighter, so it's going to be interesting to see what he can do against Ramazan Temirov, who has only had one fight in the UFC, but he has won most of his fights in dominant fashion, whether it be a decision or TKO, which is similar to the fashion of Charles Johnson. However, Johnson does not have as much power in his hands. Temirov has had one fight in the UFC so far and finished it in 2 minutes and 50 seconds. Charles Johnson does not have the same power in his hands, as most of the TKOs on his record come from before the UFC, and even when he does TKO someone in the UFC, it is usually far into the fight. For example, when he knocked out Joshua Van, it was very late into the fight, sometime in the late third round when it was called off. This fight is very close, and Charles Johnson is a plus 102 underdog, so there could be some money to be made there because the other guy doesn't seem like he's the craziest grappler either. He does not have any submission wins, and if he does, then it is only one but not in the UFC. I think the odds on Charles Johnson being plus 102 are kind of crazy because he's beaten the last 4 they have put in front of him and earned his ranked spot and should be fighting up the rankings, not down to defend the spot. So I feel like this fight is going to be a close fight, but Charles Johnson will use his reach and height advantage to win this fight by decision.